Hello everybody. You can probably hear that my voice is still shot, and you're probably thinking to yourself, Tyler, you should probably rest your voice. And to that, I say no. Just no. So today I am making another Steven Universe video. More specifically, I am making a video about Pearl. And even more specifically than that, about her mental health and her recovery journey throughout the series. Obvious spoiler warning, as I will be talking a lot about the original series, and we'll also talk about the Steven Universe Future episode titled Volleyball. So, you've been warned. Also, I'm just gonna say this so I don't see any comments about it. Yes, Pearl is not the only one who is hurt by Pink Diamond. Examples of other people hurt by her, either directly or otherwise, are Pink Pearl, Spinel, Blue Diamond, Yellow Diamond, Garnet, especially the Sapphire part of Garnet, Bismuth, Jasper, Steven, and even Amethyst. The list goes on for ages, but that's not the point of this video. I might do videos on some of the other people that she hurt, and I've already talked about Steven's mental health, but I just don't want to see any comments about that. Before I burst into Pearl's recovery journey, just a quick refresher as to what exactly hurt Pearl so badly in the first place. Pearl was made to serve Pink Diamond, who Pearl eventually grew romantic feelings for over time. Pearl helped Pink fake her own shattering, and in turn helped Pink turn into rose quartz, which is something that Pearl mildly regretted, but a little more on that later. And Pearl also helped lead Rose's rebellion. Still, in the end, Rose fell in love with a human named Gregg. So that's part one. Part two is that Rose gave up her form for Steven to exist, basically just like dying. There's a bit more to Pearl's deep emotional pain, like leaving Homeworld and her role as a Pearl, but those are the two main things. Now I will go through episodes in order of their release and talk about them. This might come as a slight shock to some of you, but the first episode I will be talking about is Space Race. Is it directly about Rose? No. However, Pearl left Homeworld largely because of her, and this is the first time in the series that we really got a glimpse as to what all Pearl was going through. In this episode, Pearl decides to build a spaceship to go back to Homeworld, and takes Steven with her, despite Gregg's objections. Eventually, it puts her and Steven in danger, and they have to abandon ship. It was a very emotional moment, and it was the first time that we really saw how attached to the past that Pearl was.
We need to go, Pearl! We're not gonna make it!
But we're almost there!
Pearl! I know you miss space, and I know you worked hard, but sometimes you just gotta know when to bail.
Here it is, considered by many to be one of the saddest moments, if not the saddest moment in Steven Universe and in kid cartoons in general. I am of course talking about Rose's Scabbards. This is the episode where we first learn that Pearl had romantic feelings for Rose. In the episode, Lion finds the scabbard to Rose's sword, and Pearl and Steven go on a quest through places previously shown in order to find the sword. And Steven eventually finds it in Lion's mane. Pearl has a little outburst about how Rose never hid anything from her. And now knowing that Pearl was the only one who knew the truth about who Rose used to be, it really hits different, because Pearl wasn't being narcissistic. She was just hurt, upset, and confused. Pearl basically just ran away. After almost indirectly killing Steven, Pearl projects an image of Rose, and I'll talk more on her projection powers later, and reenacts a memory of her and Rose talking to each other. It's in this episode when it first really hit the audience just how deeply hurt Pearl was by Rose's death, and it also hints at Pearl's self-worth issues, which we'll talk more on later. This episode, I feel, is the first important step in Rose's recovery journey, as she allowed herself to open up to Steven a little bit, even knowing that he is not Rose.
Sometimes I wonder if she can see me through your eyes. What would she think of me now?
Well, I think you're pretty great.
In the episode titled Sworn to the Sword, Pearl teaches Connie to sword fight. But Tyler, what does Connie being awesome have to do with Pearl's mental health? Well, in this episode, Pearl sings a song to Connie about how to be a knight for Steven. However, all the lyrics are not built around Steven and Connie's relationship, but instead built around Rose and Pearl's relationship. This isn't just a theory either, as Pearl constantly refers to Rose in the song and even shows a memory of her fighting for Rose during the song.
You do it for her, that is to say, you'll do it for him.
She's projecting herself and her experiences onto Steven and Connie. She does that a lot throughout the series. Another good example being how she clearly projects Rose onto the mystery girl in Last One Out of Beach City.
Okay, nobody's gonna say it. She kinda looked like Mom. You noticed, I noticed, we all noticed.
This is what I think her projection powers represent. With her gem, she can make projections of pretty much anything, even unintentionally, as seen by her dream projecting in Chili Teeth. She can even project a hologram of Rose, a hologram of herself, and hologrammed videos of her memories. I just think that's a clever little thing if it was intentional. Anyways, after Steven gives Connie an intervention after learning about Pearl's past of sacrificing herself for Rose, Steven and Connie agree to only fight together. Pearl gets upset by this in a very emotional scene.
You shouldn't be anywhere near the fight. You're too important.
I am not!
Yes, you are.
No!
Why won't you just let me do this for you, Rose?
We Need to Talk is a flashback episode told by Gregg. While the episode is much more about Gregg and Rose's relationship, there's also some stuff to be shown about Pearl. And I'll keep it brief, but it shows the fusion between Pearl and Rose, which will be a little bit more important later in the video, which is why I brought it up now. So now, I'm not going to talk about one specific episode, but a whole arc. I, of course, am talking about the Sardonyx arc, in which we first met Pearl and Garnet's fusion. Basically, there's a problem with the TV, and a message from Peridot starts broadcasting across all channels. They go to a tower previously destroyed by Sugalite, Garnet, and Amicus fusion. To avoid another Coach Steven incident, Garnet and Pearl fuse together and destroy the tower. After the tower keeps getting rebuilt, it is revealed that Pearl was the one rebuilding the tower. She did this to continue to fuse with Garnet, something which had kind of, I guess, been subtly foreshadowed in episodes like Coach Steven,
Fuse with me instead.
and Chili Teeth. Anyways, I've seen a wide range of opinions on this, but the bottom line is, the objective fact is that Pearl manipulated Garnet into fusing, also putting a wrench in catching Peridot. Garnet unfuses, and a few episodes later, Garnet and Pearl are stuck together. They literally can't get away from each other in a situation that they're in. So they talk it out, and Pearl kind of opens up to Garnet about her self-worth issues.
No matter how hard I try to be strong like you, I'm just a pearl. I'm useless on my own. I need someone to tell me what to do.
Garnet and Pearl fuse to get out of the situation, and the arc is over. I appreciate this arc because it shows that no one is perfect. I like how Steven Universe manages to make all of its characters complex. I like how it's not all black and white, like how good people can do bad things, like Bismuth wanting to shatter gems, a number of Lapis's actions.
They're not nice like me. Exactly.
And even more complex stuff, like Steven giving himself up to Homeworld without talking to Connie first. Also, while it was a slight regression in her recovery, that's also important to show, I feel, as regression in any kind of mental health recovery does happen and is actually fairly common. And that's okay, as long as you keep going with your recovery after it. On top of being incredibly visually impressive and introducing some pretty good songs into the soundtrack, the episode titled Mr. Gregg is one of the most important steps in Pearl's recovery. Basically, Gregg, Steven, and Pearl take a trip to Empire City, in which Pearl is incredibly uncomfortable. She sings a very emotional song about how Rose is gone, how she chose Gregg over Pearl, and how Pearl is having trouble moving on.
You won, and she chose you, and she loved you, and she's gone. It's over, isn't it? Why can't I move on?
Afterwards, Pearl and Gregg talk it out. Sometimes talking is all you need to do to fix something, because communication is incredibly important, kids. 3 Gems and a Baby is a flashback episode told by Gregg, Garnet, Amicus, and Pearl about when Steven was a baby and the time that the Gems kidnapped Steven.
Good thing we left without any explanation.
And after some dark foreshadowing to change her mind, we get a very emotional scene from Pearl.
She wanted this so much. I just don't understand why. Everything should grow and everything should change, and isn't it so great how it comes so naturally to humans? Well, it's not natural for us. It's not natural for me.
I personally think that this is one of the best scenes that was specifically made to display the effect that the arrival of Steven had on Pearl. I honestly don't want to talk about this one because it could make a whole video of its own. A single pale rose. Here we go. Pearl loses her phone and her gem. Steven goes inside her gem. Steven sees Pearl pre-Rose's death, crying about the idea of losing Rose. A past version of Pearl hints at having second thoughts about helping fake the shattering.
Why did I do it?
And we learn that Rose has pink diamond. I might as well just make a full video on this episode alone. Which I might do that. But bottom line is, Pearl needs therapy. In the episode titled, Now We're Only Falling Apart, Ruby and Sapphire unfuse after learning the truth about Rose. Pearl tells Sapphire the story of when her and Rose first fuse. Does it relate to the topic of the video? Not really. I mean, it subtly shows how toxic Pearl and Rose's relationship was. But I just love how gay it is and wanted an excuse to bring it up.
But I've been imagining things. Even when you haven't asked me to, I imagined that I ran away and met you here on Earth. A rose quartz. And I'm not yours, but I make you so happy anyway. Isn't that ridiculous? Tell me to stop. Please don't ever stop.
Look how gay their faces are, it's wondrous. Finally, for what I consider to be the most important piece in Pearl's recovery, volleyball. I talked about this episode in my video about Steven, but the episode is really more about Pearl and Pink Pearl. Basically, Pearl gets upset when Pink Pearl blames Pink Diamond for the crack on her face, and they argue a little bit. And then after Steven's little outburst, they get trapped in a shell that basically does the same thing as Spinell's Rejuvenator. It's made to reset gems, more specifically made to reset Pearls to factory settings. Pearl comes to the realization that she's been making excuses for Rose.
I'm sorry for not believing you. It looks like I'm still making excuses for her.
Is that what I've been doing? But she didn't mean to.
But you were hurt. Badly hurt.
I was badly hurt.
How did you stop hurting? I didn't.
That last line has such dark implications. Steven Universe has a habit of giving very short lines such dark meanings, and I love it.
Lapis lazuli. Does every gem that comes in contact with this planet turn traitor? What? I've felt worse.
Pearl never stopped hurting, and she likely never will, at least not all the way.
Have you tried this butter stuff?
Oh, it's okay. But thank you, Rose.
But at least now she has somebody else who could very similar situation goes through her own. And her recovery is complete, I'd say. And while her emotional pain will likely never fully leave, she has come a very long way, and I also really like how her recovery was paced. Stay derpy, stay merpy, stay hydrated.